You're listening to the Tigers Den podcast. New episodes dropping every Monday at 3:30 p.m. Central Time, available to stream across all platforms. Also, be sure to check out Play Callers. New episodes dropping every Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. Central Time, available to stream across all platforms. Hello and welcome to episode 9 of the Tigers Den. We're so happy to be able to record these episodes for y'all every week, and thank y'all for listening on whichever platform you listen to your podcast on, whether it be Spotify, Apple, or YouTube. Be sure to go ahead and like this podcast, rate it 5 stars if you're on Apple or Spotify, and share it with your friends. But on today's show, we're going to be talking about the NBA season officially tipping off tomorrow. We're going to talk about all our takes entering the season and who we think the best teams are going into this NBA season. Also, a team who had a tragedy last year really stepped up in a big way this season, this past weekend, and all that and more on the Tigers Den. Now, Reese, go ahead and get us started with this weekend's rundown.
This is the weekend rundown. I hope y'all are having a great week. So I'm gonna get started with the games we picked on Countdown. First, I'm gonna start with Thompson in Tuscaloosa County. In Countdown, I think most of us. Well, actually, I think Taylor, you thought this game was gonna be close. I don't know.
No one thought this game was.
Oh no, I didn't. Oh my.
Yeah.
No, but
in my mouth.
Thompson almost covered the spread. Spread was 46. Thompson won 39-0. Tuscaloosa County definitely overrated.
They're not making the playoffs.
Yeah. And then, me and Taylor were at the Auburn and Central game. That was terrible.
Yeah.
I've never
Although
seen
we were talking to what was the guy's name that we were talking to at the Auburn football tailgate, University tailgate on Saturday?
Coach Nash.
Yeah,
Coach
he
Nash
said he wasn't impressed with Central. So
yeah,
I mean,
he said that he thought that Central was beatable for sure.
Yeah, it was really just Cam Coleman. When Coleman was down the field,
Well, if you look at it, Cam Coleman, the four touchdowns. Other than that, there was no offense at all.
He touched 80% of the offensive. He got 80% of the offensive yards.
Yeah, that's the quarterback really doesn't have to do much. I guarantee their whole playbook is just give it to Cam.
Yeah,
all I'll say is
literally when he throws the ball, he's like, "F it, Cam Coleman's down there."
And also in other news, Cam Coleman was at the Auburn University game on Saturday, and he actually said that his commitment is not he's committed to Texas A&M, but he's not sure yet because he said after the Auburn game, he said he might reconsider.
There's no way. That was probably the worst. I was actually, because I was talking about this with my dad. I was like, "There's no way that was the worst, possibly the worst showing in my opinion." For him to see. But
yes,
yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit later, just a little bit later.
Yeah, I'm sure we will.
Yeah, but I'm gonna also highlight Percy Julian beating Prattville. We play Prattville on Friday for senior night, pink out.
Yeah.
But Percy Julian, 3rd win of the season. They're not gonna make the playoffs.
Wait, Percy Julian beat Prattville?
Yes. 39-35 at Prattville, and it was.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I was talking about it on Countdown. Shout out Percy Julian, most improved team of the year for sure.
100%.
Yeah, no, Percy Julian 3rd win under a 2nd-year head coach, and like we said on Countdown.
Yeah, 4th win.
4th win?
Yes.
Okay, so what are they? 4-4, 4-5.
4-4.
Okay, so they might still be able to if they knock off somebody.
They're not able to make the playoffs, but they play Smith Station next week, or this week, I guess. So they should finish 5-5 because they play at Enterprise the week after.
Yeah, no,
you never know, Max.
Yeah, you never know. Fair point.
No, but Percy Julian definitely next year is going to be a team to look out for. They're a team that I think could get 6-7 wins possibly next year. There's a chance.
It just depends on how young their team is, because if all those players are juniors, they'll be.
No, we've seen that with a lot of college teams like Georgia Tech. I think last year some of the upset wins they had, and then they lost a lot of players after because they had a lot of seniors.
Yeah.
And then the last game for high school football I'm going to highlight is the Toilet Bowl. Smith Station and Jags 16-8. I mean, we kind of expected a low scoring game. Like the spread was like
Minnesota Iowa remake.
Exactly.
Yes, like that's pathetic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
no,
but
we all
like
saw the ending.
yeah.
We all saw the ending in the Minnesota Iowa game. That was
Yeah, questionable. Why were refs actually like really bad this weekend?
That
I mean, I know
think
they're
that's
never.
one thing we really need to talk about. Like the officiating is getting so bad, it's like getting on my nerves. It's like
Are they like
it's
paid
so
like
pathetic.
minimum wage or something to like be horrible?
You know what the
or,
worst was the freaking Chiefs today. They
I know,
get
bro.
nailed.
That's ridiculous.
like-
Like,
I
that's
don't
so
care if Taylor Swift is in the crowd. Call the game fair.
yeah. The refs saw Taylor Swift and were just
Yes,
like,
so
we got to press.
we've been the Central game. Auburn did have mistakes, but I think the officiating was not as good. The Ole Miss game, pathetic officiating, like absolutely
Yeah,
pathetic.
offensive pass interference on a block.
Yes,
So.
that's ridiculous. And then today I watched the Chiefs and Chargers, and that's ridiculous. Like, I mean, I don't know when it's going to get better. Penn State and Ohio State yesterday was terrible too.
Yeah.
So was Alabama and Tennessee, and so was Texas and Houston.
Yeah.
So I saw plenty
Texas
of
and
games.
Houston, I forgot. So.
Yeah, I saw plenty of games this weekend that were pathetic officiating. But I'm gonna get into college football real quick. So Duke looked like they were gonna win this game.
Yeah, for a while.
And then Florida State just turns on the Jets in the fourth quarter and ends up winning 38-20. But you know, for Duke, they got Louisville this upcoming weekend, so I mean it could be a bounce back game. We'll see.
Yeah.
And then like we said, Auburn and Ole Miss. Auburn was pathetic. Fire Philip Montgomery. And then just let the refs help Ole Miss win the national championship already.
Yeah,
and
I
then,
mean, the tough part about that game was it wasn't, and I talked about this to y'all as well because we were at the game. I mean, it just sucks watching it as a fan, but it also sucks for the players because it's not their. It truly wasn't their fault in that game. Like it literally was all their play calling. Like Jarquez can't do anything if his coach tells him to run it straight up the middle on a 3rd and 6, and then we punt the ball, even though he got 4 yards to make it 4th and manageable. You know?
No.
So I mean, I don't know.
No, we were there. The atmosphere was amazing. Like the freaking
Until
Jets,
the fourth quarter.
The Jets blow out your ears, and then like the pregame atmosphere was amazing, and also like the rest of the game was amazing until the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Like you said.
Yeah, nobody cheering.
A lot of fans were booing. And it just wasn't good. And then Michigan blew out Michigan State. That was really expected. I think a lot of people expected that to happen, especially with what Michigan State has gone through this year with Mel Tucker's situation. But Michigan, I mean, I'm not really that impressed because Michigan hasn't played anybody on their schedule that's good at all.
I will say we're not doing Heisman rankings in top 10. But my front runner for Heisman is now J.J. McCarthy over.
Yes, J.J. McCarthy played amazing.
Yeah,
and Michael Penix Jr. played like absolute dog crap.
Blake Corum, the running back that was like preseason hype. They gave him a lot of preseason hype as a running back for Michigan for Heisman. He hasn't really done anything at all this year.
I mean, he's done decent because
he had like 59. He had 59 yards rushing though and 1 touchdown in the game.
No, Reese. The problem with Michigan is that since they play such soft teams, like their players basically come out at halftime. Like Blake Corum, I don't think played a single snap in the second half.
Yeah, no, it said he got 59 carries, or it says he got 59 yards, and then he had like 20 carries in the first half, and then had a touchdown. It was bad. And then Penn State and Ohio State, which was game day. I still haven't figured out where game day is going to be this upcoming week, but
I think it's got to be Oregon at Utah.
Have they announced it yet, though?
No, I looked it up.
Either Oregon at Utah or some FCS game. So
they better not go to some random FCS game that no one cares about.
Where are they gonna go? Freaking like prep school, and then like some random school? Like what the heck? FCS games.
I have a feeling that's what it's going to be though, because every week before this, they've announced it like by the end of Saturday.
Wait, it is Oregon versus Utah.
Okay, good. Okay,
yeah, Utah's hosting College Game Day again.
Okay. Yeah. Again. They can't do that.
Wait, have they already hosted it this year?
They couldn't have.
Oh, I don't think they have. But, I mean, that game, we're going to pick that in Prize Picks. I'll say why I don't think it's going to be a close one. But
yeah. And then Penn State and Ohio State, that was close, but Drew Allard, his receivers definitely
it was not
sold
as
him.
because I saw so many people. I was watching that game before I went to your tailgate on Saturday, and then and so many people were trashing Drew Aller, and I mean he was 18 for 42, which is like unbelievably bad. But if you actually watch the game, like all the receivers and Drew Aller had time in the pocket, and that means the receivers had time to run as well, and none of them were open by the time that like Drew Aller was the entire time he's in the pocket. So
yeah, no, and also the officiating was pathetic. Like, I mean,
that is true. Yeah,
Ohio State
the unnecessary
got
roughness
lucky
on a sack. Yeah,
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Like, and the quarterback still had the ball in his hand. Like, I mean,
yeah.
and it was like,
talk about the game we want to hear. Talk about the game we want to hear.
what, Washington
The
and Oregon? Oh, I know. Oregon, Oregon and Washington State. Yeah, Bo Nix cooks again. You know, it wasn't a surprise that Oregon beat Washington State because I obviously thought they were going to win by like I thought they were going to win by 30. Honestly.
Yeah.
In the first half, it was a little close for comfort, but we ran with it.
Well, no,
Bucky
really,
Irving is the GOAT.
Really, if you think about it, Washington State only scored that one touchdown and went for 2 in the fourth quarter, and that was it. Like,
yeah, if Cam Ward was at any other school, he would actually be like winning right now because in that game he had 438 passing yards and 1 touchdown. But his they had no running.
I want to say something, not being biased. Bucky Irving as a junior this year, if he comes back next year, he could I honestly think he could win Heisman.
Yeah, there's a potential.
If it wasn't such a quarterback award, I would say he has to be the front runner for next year because he gets so many all-purpose yards.
Yeah. I feel like he's a really good NFL prospect now thinking about it right now.
I don't think he'll go this year though.
I don't think so.
I think he'll wait a little bit.
He's projected to go like 3rd round. Like I
think he'll wait till next year when a team really, really needs a running back.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and then I got my 2 frauds up next. Washington and Oklahoma, both frauds. Yeah. I don't know how you beat Arizona 15-7. That's ridiculous. And how do you beat UCF by 2?
Yeah, I actually watched that game until like Washington came back, which was like the end, literally the near end of the.
I literally texted y'all at 1 a.m. I said, "F Washington."
That was Penix. That was his worst game yet. Like I've never seen a terrible game.
I'll talk about it more in top 10, but we saw with Oklahoma and Washington when their offense, isn't doing well. I mean, their team doesn't do well.
When my top 10 doesn't throw for freaking 400 yards, they don't do good.
My top 10, Washington and Oklahoma are not where you think they're going to be. Okay. They're low.
I mean,
if you have Oregon over Washington, I will come through that screen. I will literally choke you because Washington should be over Oregon.
Yeah,
Any
team that beats them straight up and it's a good game.
Oh, I forgot my third fraud, Texas. Yeah, we're back. Yeah. We're back. Oh my god,
they should have lost that game. I actually like that you.
Yeah.
Also, that 4th and 1 or whatever it was. Yeah,
officiating.
Taylor, you didn't see it. He got down at to the 8.5, 9-ish on the
4th and 1.
Yeah, and then they marked him back at the 10, and it was obvious. And Dana Holgerson was that's obviously
just like the Ole Miss refs marking Jackson Dart freaking 200 yards higher than the ball actually was. I
don't think that's possible, Reese.
I don't think it is either. And then another. I'm not even gonna go over that game. I don't feel like it. North Carolina, Virginia just upsets me.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah.
And then Alabama and Tennessee, 27 unanswered points is actually insane.
Yeah.
Josh Heupel, biggest fraud.
I'm telling you, Alabama's not good. They just get lucky breaks.
Reese, Alabama's good. Let's not try to hate on them because you're an Auburn fan. Don't hate on Alabama. You're an Auburn fan.
I already know we're getting blown out because Peyton Thorne's going to throw it to the freaking sideline. Be like,
Peyton Thorne's going to run out of bounds on a 4th and 10 when he's at 9 yards. He's going to run out of bounds.
Yeah. And then Utah and USC, good game.
What a win!
Yes.
I hate USC, bro. I'm so happy they beat them.
Yeah, Caleb Williams was crying on the sideline, basically.
Because Utah owns him!
Yeah.
3 times in a row!
Yeah. Yeah, Utah owns Utah owns a bunch of teams. They own USC.
Not Oregon.
They beat Oregon 1 year like twice in the regular season and in the Pac-12 championship, but that's about it.
That was a while ago. I was about
Yeah.
to say. So,
and then LSU didn't have to do our armed forces like that. Like
at least they gave them appreciation with the the color.
But they didn't give them a touchdown.
Yeah, I know.
You gotta give them something.
They said, "Hey, we're gonna make our end zones nice and pretty for you. Then we're gonna absolutely whoop you 62-0."
Yeah, they probably did the too small celebration on them.
Yeah.
I remember at the Auburn game, Reese was like, "Oh, LSU's only winning 7-0," and there was 13 minutes left in the first quarter.
There was 3.
Reese, you have the most L sports takes ever.
I'll just let y'all handle it.
You say the most random stuff.
Someone's mad. Okay, anyways,
Is that it for Have You Heard?
No,
this we can run down.
This isn't even Have You Heard,
buddy. Hurry up.
Okay, hurry up. Okay, my last matchup of college football is South Carolina, Missouri. South Carolina sucks.
Who cares? Who cares?
I'm breaking down the top 25.
And Missouri's good.
Next Missouri's good. Now I'm gonna go to NFL. Now I'm gonna go to NFL and then WNBA and then I'll give it to y'all.
Good.
And then today the Bears kind of surprised me. I mean
the Raiders are poverty.
The Raiders, like they're. Did you see the thing about Jimmy Garoppolo's getting he's not getting paid? Like he has to pay $90K since he's missing games. Like it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's pretty weird. And then the Browns won because of the officiating.
Yeah.
I've never seen such a bad officiating game.
Bro, what?
Ever. Yes. Did you not see the end? Did you not see the end?
Reese, that was a touchdown.
No, did you not see the end where PJ Walker got hit and fumbled it, and then they said, "Oh, roughing the passer," and the dude literally he didn't even throw the ball, and then they also called a pass interference when it was over the receiver's head.
Reese, Patrick Mahomes, if you breathe on him, they call it roughing the passer. It's the NFL.
I know the NFL sucks. Like freaking officiating's terrible. And then the Bills, they're frauds. That
was biggest upset of the season so far.
They should have lost last week too. They should be freaking 3-4.
I mean, what's happening with the Bills? Can we talk about that? They're so talented.
Their defense is so banged up. All their top Tre'Davious White, Jordan Poyer, Micah Hyde are all hurt.
Yeah.
So their secondary is trash.
I get that, but it's the Patriots. You know what I mean?
Matt, their offense is still good.
Yeah, Josh Allen good. Josh Allen literally I think they would have they could have won the game if he didn't throw an interception on his first play. His first play interception to the Patriots cornerback.
Reese, he had 3 total touchdowns. He played good.
I know. No, Mac Jones and then like you said, the defense let Mac Jones basically go down and they let him go from the 25 to score at the end of the game.
All I'm saying is when the Bills are healthy, they're easily a top 5 team.
Yeah, no. Once they get healthy, I think they'll be
they'll still make the playoffs.
In the
for sure. 7 or 6 or 7 seeds.
So when is Matt Milano and Tre'Davious White? When are they supposed to be back? Do you know?
I don't know.
I think Tre'Davious White is. I'm not sure about those.
Okay.
I'm not a Bills fan.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
And then the Giants, I guess you could say it's an upset against the Commanders. I don't really know. The Commanders were not themselves today.
That's not an upset.
Yeah.
No. I said
Taylor,
the Giants were literally favored.
You're not listening.
Yeah, he said it wasn't an upset. But anyway, no. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, no. That game, I kind of expected it. I kind of expected it to be low scoring after I saw Graham Gano miss a 42-yarder to start the game.
Yeah.
And the wind was crazy there. I feel like today the wind was really crazy, everywhere. A lot of the games, field goal kicking was hard.
Yeah, all I'm saying is neither of those teams are going to be relevant. And, they're not even relevant now, but they're not going to be – neither of those teams are going to the playoffs.
The Commanders, if anybody still thinks they're going to make the playoffs, that's ridiculous. They're not.
Yeah, it's not happening.
Now, I don't know. The Falcons now are leading the South after they beat the Buccaneers. But we'll see how long that lasts. But Young Ho Koo kicks a game-winning field goal to make it. They win 16-13.
The man just said Young Ho.
Yeah.
Young Wei? What the?
Max, you say Tagovailoa.
Okay, buddy. Okay.
Tagovailoa. Tyreek Hill is the GOAT! Sorry.
Anyways, Lions. I'm sorry. Why did you guys lose this bad?
Yeah.
That's
what
not
happened?
Hey, I'll go into that a little bit later as well.
Okay. And then Steelers beat the Rams to go 4-2. Kenny Pickett shows flashes of what he can do.
Hey, yeah, I mean, hate on these Steelers all you want. They keep winning. You know what I mean?
They're they're a decent away team, 2-1 away team.
Yeah, 4-2 overall, and they have wins against the Browns and the Ravens. I mean,
and then the Seahawks beat the Cardinals. So now the Cardinals are probably gonna have. Oh, actually, wait. Well, yeah, the Cardinals.
Did you see the thing where Kyler Murray though is supposed to be back in like
week 10,
2 or 3 weeks? Yeah,
week 10 is when he's supposed to be back. That's not gonna help him at all.
Dude, Kenneth Walker is so good.
I know. Yeah, Kenneth Walker today basically killed.
Yeah, he didn't have a touchdown, but he literally was the Seahawks offense drives until Geno Smith would decide to throw it at the 20-yard line and just score.
Yeah. And then I didn't know this because I thought the Packers had it in the bag, but guess that doesn't happen anymore. The Broncos beat them, so hooray! Russell Wilson finally
gets. The Packers' offense is so bad.
Yeah, Jordan Love's looking like the guy that a lot of people thought he was going to be. So.
Terrible. Yeah.
Hey, AJ Dillon played good in fantasy though. I mean, I can't complain. Getting me 11 points, projected 8. I can't complain.
Yeah, and then the Chargers versus the refs. Refs won 31-17. Yeah, Patrick Mahomes.
Hey, I'm just gonna say this right now. I don't hate the Chiefs. I just hate the NFL posting Taylor Swift 10 freaking times during the game.
I'm looking at the highlights right now, and it's just
every single time Travis Kelce caught the ball, they showed Taylor Swift.
Yeah,
that man was literally good before Taylor Swift.
I was at B-Dubs, and they would show Taylor Swift every time. I was like, bro, you gotta stop. I was like, y'all gotta stop doing this.
I understand they're making money from doing it, but just stop. If you follow the NFL on Instagram, you want to see football. You don't want to see Taylor Swift.
Yeah,
100%. And then my last thing for weekend rundown is this past weekend actually. The Las Vegas Aces did win the WNBA championship.
Aja Wilson is the GOAT of the WNBA right now. She's going to be the next GOAT. She's so good.
Yeah. Now I want to ask y'all one question. Do you think that the Aces will win it again next year?
Oh, for sure. 3 in a row.
Yeah, 3 in a row. I think that would be the most in WNBA history. Actually,
I mean, you look at them; they were the number 1 team going into the playoffs.
They only had 6 losses in the regular season, bro. They're so good.
Yeah, and then behind them was the Liberty, and the Liberty only had 8 losses or 10.
Yeah, but they dominated. They were easily the best team by every stat.
Yeah, I mean, Aja Wilson, we saw her in college for South Carolina. I mean, number 1 pick easily, 23 points a game, 11 rebounds a game. And 2.3 blocks a game. It's just insane.
That's like an all-star NBA numbers.
Exactly. She's dominating the WNBA right now. And Kelsey Plum is also really good. 18 points. And she's actually the assist leader with 7. I mean, kind of I can't think of a passer in the NBA right now. My brain's not
Yeah.
Kind of like a Jason Williams, just pass first point guard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But that's going to do it for weekend rundown. So
now we move to the trash can. Taylor, who's getting thrown away this week?
Straight from the garbage disposal, this is Taylor's trash can.
I already know that is.
So there are a lot of things I could put. I think this is actually going to surprise y'all. Probably not, but
probably not.
There were really a lot of teams that I could put here. I could put Washington, Oklahoma, or Texas, who all barely escaped with wins against very weak teams in their conference, and Arizona State, Pac-12, UCF, and Houston in the Big 12. I could also definitely talk about the Iowa offense staying awful and scoring 10 points in the entire game, and really, they're just really trash all year. Or the Auburn play calling being just as bad with the dual quarterback situation, Hugh Freeze flipping a coin on the sidelines, being like, heads, Peyton Thorne, tails, Robbie Ashford. Every single drive we were changing the quarterback. and it just doesn't make sense to me. It's really just a fire and it's burning, literally just like trash does. But one outcome and one team that really stood out to me is the boys from UNC, the Tar Heels, led by NFL hopeful Drake May. Don't get me wrong, Drake May was not the problem. He played actually pretty good. He threw a game-losing pick, but he had 347 yards and 2 touchdowns. His completion percentage was awful. He threw the ball 48 times and completed 24 times. But I mean, the help around him is just awful. I mean, you have Tez Walker, of course, but the rest of the guys are not good. And the UNC defense is awful. Virginia came into this game as a 24-point underdog, and this game was on CW Network. No one in the entire country watched this game, and no one in the entire country would have picked Virginia in this game. I mean, whoever did, congratulations to you. You're probably rich now.
Yeah.
But they came into this game losing to James Madison, Maryland, NC State, and Boston College. 3 very mid teams, and then a James Madison team that if they play someone in the top 50, they'll lose by a lot. But their only win was against William and Mary before this game. UNC allowed Mike Collins, a 3-star recruit, get 3 touchdowns on their dome and allowed Malik Washington for the Cavaliers to cook with 115 yards on 12 receptions. Yeah. North Carolina is the worst tackling team in the ACC, probably in the country. I mean, we literally saw it. Mike Hollins bounce off of 6 tacklers to get in the end zone and take the lead. And coming in this game undefeated and as ACC favorites, it's safe to say that UNC season is over. No playoff hope, and maybe not even a New Year's Six bowl game at this point. I mean, I will say they do have a really, really easy schedule. Their only hard game is Duke, so they'll probably end with only 2 losses. But still, I don't see them making a New Year's Six bowl. And they finally had a close game where they didn't get bailed out by a ref or pure luck. They didn't get super lucky against Appalachian State like they did last time. The only thing going for them, like I said, is they have a very easy schedule and could still sneak into the ACC championship, but don't expect anything from them in the offseason. Don't expect Drake May to win Heisman anymore. If you lose to Virginia, you deserve to be thrown in the trash. They punted 6 times against a Virginia defense that allowed 49 to Maryland and 39 to James Madison. But, yeah, throw them away. Put them in the disposal. What are y'all's thoughts on the Tar Heels?
Well, first off, shout out, Virginia. Like I said, they were who I was referring to when I said a team that faced tragedy really came out with a big win. I mean, last year, you had two or three of their players. I can't remember what number it was.
I think it was 2.
It was 2. Pass away, from a tragic shooting, And, I mean, coming through with a huge win, probably one of the biggest in their program for the past, 5 years, But, I mean, if you're North Carolina, I mean, and I saw something where, Coach Mac Brown, he said, this is what Coach Saban a lot of times says for, Alabama not to get upset, but, don't drink the rat poison, don't get, super hyped up going into, a, really small game. Don't think, we're North Carolina, we're undefeated playing a 1-5 Virginia team. And that's exactly what happened. I mean, they drank the rat poison, and they got what they deserved. They lost. I mean, and if you're UNC, this has become a common occurrence as well. I mean, you look at last year, they played a nobody schedule, and then they lost to a nobody later in the season, but they were undefeated.
To Georgia Tech.
So
it was 2-5.
Yeah, they were 9-1 with their only loss being to a good Notre Dame team or a decent Notre Dame team, and then they lost to Georgia Tech, lost the last 3. And I mean, this North Carolina team, I don't know what to say honestly, because I'm surprised. I'm genuinely surprised by your trash can pick, Taylor, but also by this UNC defense, because this is one coming into this game where they had looked good besides the Appalachian State game. I mean, they have looked decent in all of their games, at least improved from last year, because last year they were horrible on defense. I mean, they held South Carolina to 17. That was the only, really surprising one. A decent Syracuse team, they held them to 7. But I don't know. If you're North Carolina, college football playoff hopes out the window.
Yeah, Gene Chizik, defensive coordinator for North Carolina. The best defense he's ever had was 2010 with Auburn. He had Nick Fairley. That's about it. And he was the head coach of Auburn at the time. He wasn't a defensive coordinator. I don't think he's built to be a defensive coordinator. He never will be. That shows, especially, I knew this was going to happen. I knew somebody was going to get beat. There was going to be a week. There's always a week out of college football that you have a lot of upsets, and this was the week that it happened. You didn't
Yeah.
have a lot of upsets, but you did have
A huge upset.
You did have games like Texas and Houston were close and stuff like that. You saw a lot of those close games, and also UCF and Oklahoma. And Drake May, like you said, Heisman question is out of the door. Like, I mean, he's not.
Yeah.
Nowhere.
He's not going to be able to win it because they're not going to be playing for anything.
Fox Sports must be delusional because I saw a thing this morning that said they still have him in their top 10. That's ridiculous.
I think he's top 10. He's just like not contending at all.
Yeah. No. But yeah, North Carolina, I don't even think they're gonna make the ACC championship. I think Duke probably will from that side because North Carolina and Duke are on the same side. So
yeah, I don't even think North Carolina will win at Clemson the next week.
I don't know about that because Clemson lost to Mario Cristobal, who had made the dumbest decision last week, and so I mean I don't really know. But
well, we're gonna throw him away. We're gonna move on, and I don't know about y'all, but I'm excited to see who the MMVP is. Let's go, Max.
Who is this week's MMVP?
This one's a little bit different because it's called MMVP. That stands for Max's Most Valuable Player. But this is a guy that has really proven not to be that.
Reese, you're gonna laugh when he says who it is. You're gonna
laugh.
Oh God.
But I just want to give you a forewarning. This is not because he is my most valuable player. It's because a lot of people expected him to be, including myself, and he wasn't. So I'm doing for MVP this week, number 1, Zion Williamson.
God dang it!
Max, there were so many good performances this week.
Hey, listen, we're going into NBA season.
I'm gonna turn into Stephen A. Smith.
But here, I'm gonna let y'all rant as soon as I get through my quick monologue here. Zion Williamson, the 23-year-old power forward, New Orleans Pelicans. So, if y'all don't know who Zion Williamson is somehow, 4 years ago, Zion was drafted
315 pounds.
Was drafted first overall by the New Orleans Pelicans, and many, including myself, were considering Zion as the most hyped up, as well as the most promising NBA prospect since LeBron James came into the league his rookie season at the time.
I didn't think that.
Yes, and that was smart on your part because 4 years later, Zion has played a total of 114 games across 3 NBA seasons, and he's felt a lot of criticism, including from me, for his inability.
And you know what his 2K rating is? A freaking 91. That's some bullcrap.
His inability to stay in shape and to stay healthy. And listen, listeners, by the way, if y'all didn't know already, I'm a Pelicans fan. So this is why I feel so passionately about this.
Because he's a biased reporter. That's why he's doing this.
Okay. Oh, well, let me just get through this. So much so that when Zion signed his 5-year, $197 million contract extension last summer, the contract included a weight clause that stated if the sum of his weight and body fat percentage goes above 295, the guaranteed money in his contract decreases. But I'm not here to dog on a guy for weight problems. I mean, I'm not the most in-shape person myself. But when you are the level of athlete that Zion Williamson is, and you are getting paid that much money, you should at least be able to lay off the snacks. I know I would if I was getting paid $197 million over 5 years. So if you're Zion Williamson, this is your last chance to prove yourself.
Stop eating.
With a young and talented Pelicans team around him, if Zion stays healthy, I can see this Pelicans team, no bias, making it to at least the second round.
Hey, I will say about Zion, like his stats when he plays is not bad.
Yeah, no, 100%. He just has to stay healthy. And so that's what I'm saying. My main point I'm trying to say here is if Zion is still the great player that all of those analysts were claiming he was 4 years ago, this is the time to show it. Time to stay healthy, Zion. Time to lay off the snacks. What are y'all's takes about Zion's upcoming season?
First off, you could have picked anybody else to be MVP. I mean, at this point,
who else?
You could have picked
Lamar Jackson.
You could have picked like Robbie Ashford if you want to pick him. Like, I mean, like.
Hey, I wanted to switch it up, do an NBA themed episode.
Also,
I knew y'all would react like this. It's good for views. So.
But no, I'm a Duke fan in basketball.
Jaden Daniels.
But I think Zion 4 years ago when he was at Duke, great player. I watched him play. I actually watched him play in Atlanta when they played Georgia Tech, He was amazing. I've never seen a basketball player like that before. I did think that he was going to be a good NBA player until like COVID season. Like when he first came in COVID season, and he like all of a sudden got injured, and then it just kept. I think it was excuses. Honestly, that's what I think it was. I think it was excuses. I think he had problems going on with like financial problems and stuff like that, or he might have had, I don't know what was it. It could have been personal life problems. He was just laying off and not playing, and it really hurt him. He gained a lot of weight. He lost the weight. I'm pretty sure he's lost the weight now.
Yeah, he has.
But I think this year, like you said, is the last chance for him.
100%. Taylor, what do you think?
I mean, like I said, his stats when he plays is not good. I'm not a Duke fan per se, but I always liked Duke. I would always cheer for them over UNC.
Heck yeah.
I mean, I cheer for Duke when they play like any sport really. But I mean, I love Zion Williamson, coming out of college. I actually had one of his college jerseys. I was such a huge fan of him. I had a poster in my room. But I mean, when he got drafted to the Pelicans, which is poverty franchise. Sorry, Max. Y'all are only known for Anthony Davis and Chris Paul all time. I don't see it this year. I think yes, this is his last chance. I just don't see him coming out and being the player that, because people said he was LeBron James, and LeBron James averages about a triple-double almost every single season. I don't see Zion even coming close to that. In the NBA, it's just so hard to score. It's so hard to replicate what you did in college. I would say that Victor Wembanyama is probably going to have better stats than Zion. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that's a terrible take, but I want to ask y'all this. Does Zion play more than 60 games this season?
No.
Out of the 84-game schedule?
No.
That's my main point. As long as he's, as a Pelicans fan, I just want to see him. Now, we weren't as great of friends, a couple of years ago when I first, started really becoming a Pelicans NBA fan. But I actually posted on my Instagram, Zion Williamson. I had a Zion Williamson jersey on, and like his first night playing, I was like so excited because the Pelicans hadn't done, really anything of note going into that season. But drafting Zion Williamson is basically our one claim to fame right now. And like you said, AD and CP3 being there for short stints of time. But I mean, no, if I'm Zion Williamson, I am locking in, this season. I'm trying to prove why I was drafted first overall, because that's a big deal, being drafted first overall. And he's still 23. So, I mean, it's not like, he's aging really fast. But anyways, that's going to do it for MVP. Sorry, I didn't do, Lamar Jackson or, all these other players. I just wanted to switch it up this week. Now, Reese, go ahead and take it away with this week's edition of Top 10.
Who's first, who's last, and who's in between? This is Top 10.
Well, for this week's edition of Top 10, we're going to be doing college and NBA instead of NFL because, like you said, there's still some games that are going to go on. And also Heisman, we're not doing that either this week.
Viewers, we say this every episode, but we actually record on Sunday night. So Sunday Night Football, Dolphins versus Eagles is on right now. We didn't want to really do NFL rankings because this game could shake up the NFL rankings, We may have Miami at 1 and they lose, so it's outdated. So we thought the NBA would be a little more interesting with the NBA season starting tomorrow.
Yeah, like the Dolphins are literally about to score right now.
Yeah, to tie it up.
Yeah. Tyreek Hill is the GOAT! No! Oh, he recovered the fumble! You're an idiot, back to the
They're watching the game right now, viewers, by the way, so in real time.
Tyreek! I need you!
Yeah, if y'all couldn't predict it, Tyreek Hill is on his fantasy team. So
freaking dropped it. Anyway, my college football top 10. I'm gonna put Michigan at number 1.
Understandably.
Yeah, I've seen all their games. I mean, I know they played trash teams, but they definitely, the scores do not lie. Honestly,
this man banging his shoe.
Honestly,
now Tyreek is out of the game. What are we doing? Throw the flag! Throw the flag!
Wait, how's the Eagles ball? What the heck? I'm just following the ESPN screen where it's like, updating it on a field.
Turn it on, man. Turn it on.
All right, anyway.
If this was the Chiefs, you would have called 3 flags by now.
Okay.
Who do you have after the Michigan Wolverines?
So my number 2, I'm going to go with Florida State. Their offense is very high-powered. I've seen a lot from them. Number 3, this probably will surprise y'all that Georgia's number 3. I don't know.
I mean, it doesn't surprise me too much, although why are they over Ohio State?
I just, Kyle McCord, that one game against Notre Dame, he played good at the end, but really against Penn State, if you think about it, the refs kind of bailed him out of that one.
But he also had 285 yards, no interceptions, and a touchdown.
Well, mainly Marvin Harrison. Marvin Harrison helped him in that, and that's why if we did Heisman, Marvin Harrison was one of my Heisman.
So do you think Georgia without Brock Bowers in a neutral site game, let's say in the playoffs, if they're playing Ohio State without Brock Bowers, who's winning?
Wait, Reese, who was your number 2?
Florida State.
All right, good take. Yeah.
Brock Bowers without Brock Bowers, I don't know. It might be close because Marvin Harrison. I know he's like, I guess he would be the only good person on Ohio State's team, and Georgia has nobody else as receiver, and their running game's terrible. So that game would be low scoring to me.
All right. I'll let you cook.
And then number 5 is Washington, even though
who's number 4?
Oh, number 4 is Ohio State. Yeah, my bad.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, number 5 is Washington.
Over Oklahoma?
Yeah, Oklahoma. The reason I put Washington over Oklahoma is because basically I could consider it a tie for real, like at 5. Because they both played bad.
Washington did not score an offensive touchdown till like the entire game. They didn't score an offensive touchdown.
Just hear me. I said I could consider it a tie because they both played bad.
There is no ties. You rank them at a ranking, and then you put a team under them.
Yeah.
So who's 5, Washington or Oklahoma?
5 is Washington.
Okay.
And then 6 is Oklahoma because I still think Washington has potential. Oklahoma kind of scares me. Because, we've seen it in the past.
Even though they beat Texas.
Yeah, but we've seen it in the past. Oklahoma's beat Texas before, and then, they'll go and lose to some random. I've seen it before.
So I'm guessing you think they'll lose to Kansas this weekend?
No.
At Kansas?
No.
All right, who's your 7?
7 through 10.
7 is Oregon.
Okay. Understandable.
And then 8 is Texas.
Okay. Yep.
9 is Alabama. You got to put Alabama in there. I mean.
Yeah.
And then 10 is Penn State.
Yep.
Penn State was my 4 last week, so they kind of moved back a bit because the loss. So.
Yeah. I agree mostly with yours. I mean,
let's go.
Pick 6 who? Dolphins?
Yes.
Oh wow.
Frick Jalen Hurts, bro. I hate that man.
First he hates the Eagles, and then he hates Jalen Hurts.
So the rankings for me this week, I mean, they didn't change much. The only one really changed, a massive move in the rankings was Penn State just because they lost. And North Carolina because they were in my rankings.
Wait, Reese, who's your number 10? Sorry to interrupt you, Matt. Who was Reese's number 10?
Penn State.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not putting Oregon State, Ole Miss, or...
Oregon State didn't play. That's the only reason why I didn't move them up.
I'm not moving them up at all.
Yeah.
They don't deserve to be moved up. I was debating whether to put Utah or Penn State there, but I was like, no, Utah's okay, but they're not.
Yeah, Utah has a backup, has a pig farmer as their QB.
Yeah.
So.
But now I'm
I'm
gonna get into my NBA.
Bro, Reese, what are you doing?
What? Neither me and Taylor haven't said our college football yet.
My bad.
So I'm gonna get into my college football.
My bad.
Number one is obviously Michigan. No, hands down. Even though they haven't played anybody, they're hands down number 1 team. Not to be debated. Number 2 is Ohio State for me. I feel like this defense is the best it's been in a while, and that's always the thing that people are scared about with Ohio State. And so was I going into this season. I was thinking, oh, you got a new QB, and the defense is almost never super good. That's always their downfall. But I mean, against Penn State, they held Penn State to 12 points and I think 130 yards, if I'm looking at it correctly right now. Yeah, they held Penn State. Okay, they held Penn State to 240, but they also put up 365 on them, and they got a turnover.
Wait, your number 2 is Ohio State?
Yes. I
Okay.
think Michigan, Ohio State right now could honestly be the national championship. Like that game at the end of the year, it sucks that only one of them is probably going to make is going to actually make the playoffs. But
I want to ask you. I want to ask you real quick. What do you think about, because Michigan has a bye week this upcoming week? What do you think about Michigan and Penn State, that game that they play in 2 weeks?
Is it at Penn State or at Michigan?
It's at Penn State, so it might be a
We'll
game.
see. I mean, because I don't think, like I said, I don't think this was Drew Aller's fault, against Ohio State. I mean, Ohio State's secondary is actually surprisingly really good. Like that kid, Davison Igbinosun, I know I'm chopping that up, but the transfer from Ole Miss, he was like a 5-star transfer. He was really good. He had the interception. And also their defensive end was also really good. And I'm not even going to try his name. But anyways, no, I think if Penn State, if their offense, if their wide receivers are able to get open, and Drew Aller, I think he's going to get better, obviously.
Well, yeah.
But I still think Michigan is actually much better.
Yeah,
so I think it'll be close.
Penn State's got Indiana this weekend, so they should win that. They should be.
Oh yeah, they'll beat every other team besides Michigan.
Yeah.
So. But anyways, next number 3, I have Florida State. Florida State really impressed me. It was funny because whenever I left your tailgate after the game, Reese, I was checking the Duke Florida State game before I started driving. It was 20-17 when I started driving. When I got home, it was 38-20 FSU. So I mean, this FSU team really proved that they can play good teams this year, which is something they've never been able to do the last couple of years. They've already beaten a good Duke team and a good LSU team. So I mean, we'll see what they do next, but I have them at solid number 3. I moved up Georgia. I had them at 7 last week because of the Brock Bowers injury. I have them at 4 again this week, mainly because Oklahoma and Washington didn't impress. But, I mean, Georgia, when they have Brock Bowers, I do think they're number 1 or 2, obviously. But, I mean, they're going to have to get through some of their toughest games of the season and without their best player as well in Brock Bowers. I mean, that Missouri game could be close. Florida this weekend's not going to be no pushover with the way Graham Mertz is playing. I mean, so I don't know, but I got Georgia at 4. Number 5, I do have Oklahoma over Washington. I think Oklahoma, this is one of those games that they have. At least they won it, because me and you and Taylor genuinely thought they were going to lose this for a while, and they ended up pulling it out. So, I mean, I got Oklahoma at 5. Washington I have at number 6. Didn't impress me at all. I mean, and this really showed that when Michael Penix Jr. didn't have a touchdown all game this game, and he had 2 interceptions. He did not play well at all against a very bad Arizona State team. I mean, this Washington team, we'll see what they do when they play against harder opponents. I think they play Utah, but I don't know for sure. But I think that's a genuine game they could lose. But anyways, next is number 7. I do have Oregon here, right underneath Washington. I think they are easily the best one-loss team right now. And honestly, I could put them after that recent performance by Washington. I mean, Oregon does look like the better team. And like I said 2 weeks ago when we covered that Oregon-Washington game, Oregon did beat them in every stat category in that game. They just missed the field goal. But anyways, next is number 8. I got Texas as well. Our 7 through 10, Reese, is actually the exact same. I got number 8, Texas, and then at number 9, I got Bama. Number 10, I got Penn State. Yeah, I was thinking about Oregon State moving up, but then I was like, they had a bye week. They didn't really show anything. Penn State, I don't think they're horrible. They'll win every other game besides Michigan, and they'll go, 10-2.
Yeah, I'm not putting Ole Miss in the top 10 because they don't deserve to be up there. Their team is pathetic.
Yeah, they beat a 3-3 Auburn team, which a lot of people were saying was the worst, 500.
Yeah, and their fans are like, let's go.
Yeah. For viewers at home, just letting you know, Ole Miss fans, we don't say that they're trash fans for no reason. They literally, when one of our players was down on the sideline, they started chanting "Hotty Toddy." So I just want to get that out there. But anyway, Taylor, who is in your top 10?
All right, this is going to cause some controversy. I think around my 5, 6, 7 range. But
okay, let's see.
Number 1, I have Michigan.
Yeah.
Same as y'all.
Mm-hmm. Obviously.
All right, number 2, I have Ohio State, just like Max. I believe Ohio State, Kyle McCord. I don't know what Reese was talking about, but he had a performance.
I watched a different game, so.
My number 3 is going to be Florida State. I think Florida State, like you said, they prove that they can beat good teams. They have a pretty decent schedule coming up. If they win that out, I think they're easily a playoff team for sure. But
100%.
I think they're easily a favorite to win the Natty right now. Number 4, I have Georgia. I think the AP poll could move Georgia down, but I mean they have no reason to really because Georgia hasn't lost yet.
Yeah,
and that would cause Kirby Smart to lose his crap. So, yeah. And then my number 5, y'all are gonna hate me for it, but I'm gonna go with the Ducks of Oregon. I gotta put Oregon at number 5. Guys, Oregon has outperformed every single team in the top 10 in every single stat. That Washington game. That Washington game.
Where's Washington?
Reese, shut up. That, like Max said,
No,
Oregon won that game.
But he's talking about my top.
If Oregon had made that field goal, they would have easily won the game. Oregon outperformed Washington in every single stat by a bunch in that game. Number 6, Washington right under Oregon. You know, Washington does have the head-to-head, but you got to think they had home field advantage. They got all the hype. They got game day. They got the guy winning $30,000 on a freaking field goal. They had everything going for him. 2 kickoff, prime time in Seattle, Washington. Stadium. I mean, they had every factor that helped them win the game. Number 7.
I will say, yeah.
I
will say when they play again in the Pac-12 championship, I've got Oregon right now. But
number 7, anyway. I have Oklahoma. Oklahoma did not impress me at all. Really, Oklahoma didn't really impress me in the Red River Showdown. I mean, Texas played a good game. It was just Quinn Ewers made 2 mistakes, and it cost them the game. Oklahoma barely won that game. Their defense carried them against a decent Texas offense. But UCF, if you barely beat UCF, I mean, you deserve to not be top 5. Number 8, 9 and 10, same as y'all. Texas, Alabama, Penn State. Texas, I think Alabama is a better team than Texas. Texas just has the head-to-head. Got to put Texas over Alabama. And then Penn State, number 10. I think they honestly have a chance against Michigan. It's going to be a very close game. You know, wide out. Penn State game, number 10, Penn State. And now let's move to NBA. Reese, take them away.
I'm actually, real quick, before we get to NBA, I do want to break down the actual AP top 25 real quick.
Okay.
I forgot to do that when we started. But, you know, my top 10 kind of almost looks the same as the AP polls actually the actual top 10. Theirs is Michigan at 2 though, and then Florida State's at 4.
Georgia's still at 1. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, Georgia's 1. I still don't see how. Michigan's 2, Ohio State's 3, Florida State's 4, Washington's 5, Oklahoma's 6. Texas jumps up a spot because Penn State loses. They go to 7. Oregon goes up a spot at 8. Alabama goes up 2 spots at 9. Penn State goes back 3 at 10. Oregon State goes up 1. Ole Miss goes up 1. Utah goes up 1. Notre Dame goes up 1. LSU and Missouri jump up 4.
The only reason they moved up 1 is because USC lost.
Yeah,
and North Carolina.
And then North Carolina goes back 7. They don't even deserve to be ranked anymore after that loss.
I mean, I think they deserve to be ranked. They're only a one-loss team.
Yeah. True. Well, yeah, Notre Dame and LSU are still somehow in the top 15, and they're both 2-loss teams. It's kind of.
I'm not gonna lie. I low key thought about putting LSU in the top 10.
Same.
Just because how well they're playing. Like if LSU plays Alabama, like when that's going to be a really good.
LSU is going to be Alabama, and if you can clip this right now, viewers, when we pick LSU Alabama game, I'm picking LSU.
Hey, I wouldn't disagree. I actually might have money on that game.
And then number 18 is Louisville. Number 19 is Air Force. Air Force.
I mean, they deserve it.
No, they don't.
Climbing up.
No, they don't.
Air Force is climbing up. Yeah, they're scheduled. Max, their schedule.
If Air Force played
easy,
any team that's in the top 50 in any stat, they would lose by 50.
That is true, but that's for like most.
If Air Force played Auburn, Air Force would lose.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Why don't we talk about Tulane at 22 somehow?
Oh my God, Tulane is awful. How did Tulane move up in the rankings after barely beating North Texas?
Well, it's ridiculous.
How is Tulane ahead of UCLA? I mean, if Tulane played UCLA, they would get absolutely hammered.
Yeah, Duke and Tennessee both fell back 4 spots because of their losses.
Yeah.
Tulane, like you said, I don't know how they moved up at all. They should have moved back.
Yeah.
UCLA
they shouldn't even be in the top 25 to begin with.
No.
Yeah. If anything, James Madison should be ranked ahead of them. They're both group of 5.
I mean, if you're going to do this unbeaten bull crap and put Air Force at 19, might as well put James Madison at 20.
How is James Madison not like at least where Air Force is right now?
I don't
AP
understand AP
poll,
poll at
AP
all.
poll for you. They beat yeah.
The only poll that matters is the playoff poll when it starts coming out. AJ Brown touchdown, Max. Fantasy.
Yay! Hooray!
That comes out next week or 2 weeks from now. The actual college football playoff poll, and we will probably be breaking that down.
Yeah,
I don't know though because it comes out on Monday, doesn't it? Like a Monday.
Oh yeah, it doesn't come out till like Monday, Tuesday. So
Monday night is when it comes out.
Well, we'll predict what we think it's going to be.
Yeah, but so the other receiving votes kind of surprised me. Florida, Liberty's not a surprise. Kansas State, I don't know how they're up there. Miami, Fresno.
Going back to
Oklahoma.
the unbeaten stuff that we were talking about, if you're gonna do this unbeaten bull crap and put Liberty at 19, James Madison at 25, why the heck is Liberty not in the top 25?
Yeah,
they're 8-0. They're like what the heck?
Like, guys,
and they're under
like whoever
they're
is
under
sitting in
one-loss
8
Tulane
people, meaning
game.
like, oh, we need to put Air Force at 19, and then Liberty just like receives votes. Like, no,
Yeah.
it's not.
Do they think? What do they think the number 19 versus number 20 Air Force versus Duke game? What do they think that score is going to be? It's going to be Duke 42-3. Like
Exactly.
Duke's defense is like one of the best defenses.
And why does Florida have more votes than Liberty?
Yeah,
Florida sucks.
Yeah,
I literally like the Gators. I call myself I root for Florida for most sports, and they cannot receive votes.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. AP
There's
poll.
no way.
AP
There's
poll
no way that there's no way the coaches poll has other receiving votes. Arizona.
Clemson's still in their receiving votes after loss.
Why does UNLV have votes?
I'm telling you,
explain to me how Toledo is 7-1 and they're not ranked.
In the coaches poll, Liberty has 8 votes and SMU has the same amount.
I'm telling you,
Max,
they're watching different games there. They're
Max,
watching different games.
Max, in the coaches poll, Arizona has 7 votes.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. But anyways, let's get into NBA, Reese. I'm tired of this AP poll bull crap.
Yeah. But I'm gonna get into NBA. You guys are probably gonna be mad at me for number 1. It's not.
Is it the Warriors?
No.
Oh,
it's
okay.
it's the Celtics because of how much talent they have.
I mean,
I don't disagree that much.
That's valid. If it was the Warriors, I would be a little upset, but
yeah, no, my number 2 is the Bucks because of the Damian Lillard trade.
Yeah, I agree. So.
And then my number 3 is the Warriors.
that's a little high, man. I was
about to say
the only
in my rankings, but not that high.
Yeah, the only reason I say that they're number 3 is because Steph's obviously there still and Clay.
Yeah.
And
my one thing that I'm concerned about is the height. It's the same every year.
I don't have height this year, Max.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. I'm concerned about not having the height. I mean, right now on the Warriors depth chart, their page has CP3 starting at point guard, and then Steph Curry starting at shooting guard, Clay small forward, Wiggins power forward, and Draymond center.
I mean, it's worked the past few years. Small ball lineup.
That is true. I mean,
I'm concerned that CP3 is going to be dribbling up the court and all of his dust is going to come out of him.
Yeah, that's
all right.
crazy.
Reese, keep going on with your rankings.
Number 4. This will probably surprise y'all too. The Heat, because of everybody they have coming back.
Oh my gosh, that is all. I don't even have the Heat in my top 10.
I have them in my top 10, but it's very low.
Very low.
Yeah.
Number 5. Taylor did this I think a week or 2 ago. The Cavs. I have the Cavs number 5.
Yeah, that's
Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell is definitely like someone to watch out for.
I mean, they have the same roster they have every year, but I mean, this year is I feel like the addition of Max Strus was really overlooked by a lot of people. I feel like that's a really good addition.
And then number 6, I'm gonna have to light the beam. I'm gonna have to light the beam. The Kings.
Hey,
the Kings
yeah, I have a few teams they haven't said yet that I'm kind of worried
waiting
about.
on. Yeah.
And then my number 7 is the Mavericks.
What the heck?
Reese, where are the Nuggets?
Where did they go?
The Nugget. No, see the thing is,
they have Nuggets, the same team.
The Nuggets are honestly like they're in my top 10, but they're low because for one reason is because the they lost some players in the offseason.
No, they didn't.
They did. They lost good role players. They lost key role players.
Like who?
I forgot.
Give me a name. It's like,
All right, keep going, please.
Number 8's the Nuggets.
Just get this over with.
And then number 9 is 76ers.
Okay.
Number 10 is the Suns.
Where are the Lakers?
I'm not putting.
Honestly, I disagree with you there, Taylor. But I'll say.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
You don't have the Lakers?
No,
the reason I'm not putting the Lakers in there is because LeBron James, that he literally is going to carry the team. Like, and Austin Reeves. Like, Anthony Davis is going to, like, say, I got freaking hemorrhoids and I'm out for the year. Like,
yeah, right now their starting power forward is Jared Vanderbilt. So
God.
He played good in the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't feel good about him. But anyway, I'll get into my top 10. I'm going to start off with number 1. I have the Nuggets at number 1. They won the NBA Finals last year, and they literally have the exact same team. When you look at their depth chart, they have the exact same team: Jamal Murray, KCP, Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, Nikola Jokic. I mean, they won the Finals last year, and Jokic is going to be MVP once again. Next, I have number 2. I have the Bucks. I mean, the Damian Lillard trade. I mean, realistically, that should work out perfectly. You have Damian Lillard at the 3, and then you have Giannis to worry about on the inside. But I know something is probably going to go wrong with that. But I feel like the Bucks should be number 2. Number 3, I have the Celtics. Like you said, Reese, I mean, they're very talented. I mean, you look at their starting 5. This starting 5 is absolutely insane. Drew Holiday, Derek White, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and Porzingis. I mean, if they all stay healthy, they should be one of the best teams in the NBA. Number 4, I got Cleveland Cavaliers. I mean, that addition of Max Strus was really good. And then you have one of the best backcourts in the NBA right now, Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell. And then you also have one of the best front courts as well with Evan Mobley and Jared Allen, the Twin Towers. And then number 5, I have the Phoenix Suns. You had them a little low on there. I believe that this lineup could work, possibly. I mean, I know they have Devin Booker. No, they have Bradley Beal starting at point guard right now.
Kevin Durant's gonna say he didn't get enough sleep and he's gonna be out for the season.
Let me go ahead and phrase this for y'all, for listeners at home as well. I'm doing this not prepping for injuries. Like, this is assuming all these teams are healthy for the rest of the year. This is what I think it'll be. This Suns team stays healthy. I mean, you got 3 All-Stars and most likely Hall of Famers in Beal, Booker, and KD. So, I mean, I got the Suns at 5. Number 6, I have the Golden State Warriors. I like the CP3 addition. I just wish they added a big man of some sort. I mean, Kevon Looney is really good for his height, but, I mean, I just don't know. We'll have to see, like Taylor said. I mean, the small ball lineup, it worked for the Rockets a couple years ago, but we'll see how it works for the Warriors this year. Number 7, I have the 76ers. They have basically the same team once again, and a lot of people don't remember this because they were basically a first or second round exit in the playoffs, but they finished. What's up?
Always are.
Yeah. But they finished the season third best in records. So, I mean, they were a good team last year, and they returned all their players: James Harden, Tyrese Maxey, Tobias Harris, PJ Tucker, and Embiid. I mean, Embiid won MVP last year, although it should have been Jokic 100%, but he'll still have another great season. And then number 8, I have the Heat as well. I mean, they did, go to the finals, and I feel like a broken record right now, but they also return a lot of their players. Tyler Hero, if he stays healthy, he's a really good shooting guard, really good role player from the outside. And then you obviously have Jimmy Buckets, Jimmy Butler. We'll see if he can keep playing like he did in the playoffs, because if he did, he's possibly a top 20 player in the NBA for sure.
Tonight will be the night that I will fall for you.
Yes. And then number 9, I'm going to light the beam as well. Sacramento Kings. I mean, they showed a lot of promise last year, a very young team. Domantas Sabonis, De'Aaron Fox, Malik Monk. That entire team is full of skill players. And then number 10, I actually have a team that I don't think any of y'all are going to guess as a surprise team in there at number 10.
The Pistons.
No, not that. I'm not that dumb. I'm going with the Oklahoma City Thunder.
I'm definitely coming out.
I really like the Thunder. I'd have to say they're probably my second favorite team, just because I've gone to a couple of their games before. But anyways, no, I mean, the OKC Thunder, they're one of the also one of the most underrated starting 5s this year. I mean, you look at their players, they're a very young team, which I'm kind of worried about, But, I mean, you look at Shea Gilgeous-Alexander had one of the most underrated seasons last year. That's his name.
It's Shy.
Whatever, SGA. I'll just say that. SGA had one of the most underrated seasons last year. He was so good, and he should be really good again this year. Josh Giddey as well. Dort, I'm not going to try his first name. Jalen Williams, and then Chet Holmgren. He's coming back from injury, and he's looked good in the preseason, which I know it's preseason. It doesn't matter. But, I mean, I still think he'll be really good. Was a top pick. I think he'll prove that this year. So this OKC Thunder team should make a lot of noise, in my opinion. Taylor, take it away with your top 10.
All right, number 1, I have the Bucks. The Bucks. I mean, looking at the roster, I mean, it's just stacked. I am a little worried about the role players, the bench, but
that's what I was about to say. I was about to say that they're.
I didn't ask what you were about to say. Number 2 is Denver Nuggets. I don't know why Reese had the Nuggets so low. I mean, defending champs, keeping the same exact team, they got to be somewhere in your top 3. I mean, they have to.
Yeah, Jokic is an absolute just.
And then number 3, I literally have a team that both of y'all didn't say.
Is it the Grizzlies?
No, it's Lakers, dude. Like the Lakers are good.
At number 3.
Yes, the Lakers are so good. They literally have the same lineup they did last year, and they made the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how y'all don't put them in the top 10 at all. But
you mean the NBA made the Western Conference Finals for them?
What?
The refs made it.
Reese, you're a Warriors fan. You, of course, you're saying that.
So are you.
Boston Celtics signing Kristaps Porzingis. I mean, huge signing. I think Porzingis would have a huge role on that team. Celtics are just talented all around. They paid too much money for Jaylen Brown, but besides that, they're a very good team. Number 5, I have the 76ers. I didn't like their first round exit last year. That made me a little disappointed, but I mean, Tyrese Maxey is an absolute demon on the basketball court. He's just so good. Super young star, going to be good for a while to come. Number 6, I have the Golden State Warriors, my personal team. Yes, I'm a Warriors fan. I don't cheer for the trash Pelicans. Cheer for
a good team. Tua has another concussion. I swear to God.
But, yep, I'm going to have to go with the Golden State Warriors. Great team. Chris Paul, I think, was actually a great signing. He's going to have a lot of role on that team. Number 7, going back to my hottest take, the Cleveland Cavaliers. I want to put them higher. I just can't over these other teams that I've said. The Cavs, very young team, going to be good in the future. I don't see them being better than the other teams, but being that young team, they could easily go on a run later this season. So we'll see. Number 8, I have the Phoenix Suns. I have them a little bit lower than both of y'all did, but very talented team, very old team. Not going to be good in years to come. Going to be good this year with Kevin Durant, of course. Number 9, light the beam, the Sacramento Kings.
Yes.
I hate the Sacramento Kings from the series last year against the Warriors. But break the Kings, but they're good. Number 10, I also have a team that both of y'all did not say. I was going to put the Thunder, but I didn't want to. They're too young. Who do y'all think I have at number 10?
Grizzlies.
No.
Knicks.
No.
Freaking the Hawks.
No, Los Angeles.
Clippers?
The Clippers, yes, sir.
That's understandable, yeah. That's
the Clippers.
I mean, with Kawhi and Paul George, yeah.
I mean, like Max said, we're doing this based on no injuries. We're doing it based off of just pure raw talent, the depth chart, the rosters, the conference that they're in. Western Conference is so weak this year. But I mean, you look at their lineup, Russell Westbrook is really
still a good role.
He's still a really good point guard to have. I mean, he's not awful. Paul George, superstar. Terrence Mann, great young star. I'm actually a huge fan of Terrence Mann. I think he's going to have a really strong season this year. Only 27 years old, drafted in 2019. Great role player, great stats all around. Kawhi Leonard, of course. I mean, it's Kawhi Leonard. Come on. And then Zubac in the really tall center, gets a lot of rebounds. And then, looking at their bench, I mean, they got good bench pieces. Mason Plumlee, Robert Covington, Kenyon Martin, Norman Powell. Bones Highland, yes, sir. Bones Highland is so good. I'm a huge fan of him. Great young player, only 23 years old. Going to be good for years to come. And, that's my top 10.
All right, so just so we can conversate just a little bit here. The Grizzlies, I mean, obviously not. top 10. With Ja Morant, are they a top 10 team?
No.
No?
No.
Okay, so Reese, you said yep. Taylor, you said no. Let's hear it. Why?
They would be for me. They would just be 10 because honestly, John Morant and Desmond Bain. Desmond Bain's not a bad player actually.
No, he's not.
He played last year and he played amazing. Some games he did. The loss to Dylan Brooks kind of hurts them though. Like
Yeah, I was about to say that the loss of Dylan. We can overlook it all we want. We can make fun of it all we want. But I mean, their starting center is now Zaire Williams, who averaged 5 points a season last year. And he was Max. You should know him because he was a number 10 pick to the.
Yeah, I know. And then we traded him. He didn't play one game in a Pelicans jersey. We traded him instantly. So.
But I just don't believe in this Grizzlies team. I mean, the addition of Marcus Smart. Great addition, really. Great kind of backup point guard, great role player on this team. What they could do, I could see them doing. This is going to be their starting lineup if Ja Morant plays. It's going to be Ja Morant, Marcus Smart, Desmond Bain, Jaren Jackson, Xavier Tillman. Good starting lineup, but I mean, you look at the bench. You got an old Derrick Rose, Luke Kennard, who's decent, and then the rest of their bench is awful. I mean, I can't even.
They're Ja Morant's suspended for the first 25 games. So
that's why I mean,
we're supposed to be realistic as analysts, and being on the team is not realistic because he gets in trouble every single week. So yeah, I just don't believe in the Grizzlies this year.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to side with Taylor on this one. I don't think the Grizzlies will be great. Like you said, I like that you brought up though Dylan Brooks, being over to the Rockets. Now, last question before we move into the hottest take for Taylor. How well are the Spurs going to do? Are they going to make like the play-in, or are they going to make any noise?
They have no one besides Wemby.
Yeah, that's true.
I could see a surprise playoff team being the Trailblazers.
Ooh, that's a shout.
Great young team.
Yeah.
After
the trade bonanza, I mean, Scoot Henderson really good. Anthony Simons really good. Shaden Sharp, he looked really good in the summer league.
Yeah, all I'm going to say, if the Blazers can keep that team for years to come, they're going to be they could be a 1 seed.
Yeah, and they have Malcolm Brogdon on the bench too, which is a really good bench point guard to have, and Matisse Thybulle as well, and Robert Williams III. I forgot he's on the bench behind DeAndre Ayton. So, anyways, we'll see. Now the temperature is indeed rising. Taylor, take it away with your hottest take.
The temperature is rising. That can only mean one thing. It's time for Taylor's hottest take.
All right, I think this is pretty hot. I think the temperature is pretty hot, but y'all might not agree with how hot it is after today. But Lamar Jackson will win NFL MVP for the second time in his career. I mean, just look at his performance.
You're right. After today, I mean, I would be opposed.
After his performance against a stellar Lions defense that had Mahomes shook, he went 21 for 27 with 357 yards and 3 passing touchdowns. Not only did he do that, but he also, with Lamar, of course, you get the legs and the run game. He had 36 rushing yards with another touchdown, 4 total touchdowns. He threw to 9 different receivers. And don't get me wrong, these receivers aren't awful for the Ravens. I mean, Mark Andrews and Zay Flowers, great players, proved why. Zay Flowers proved why he was worth a first-round pick, and Mark Andrews proves why he's a top 5 tight end. I know he hasn't had the most amazing season before the Lions game, but he's just such a weapon with his legs. His QB rating before the game earlier today was 93, and he led the team in passing and rushing yards, which is just crazy. And with the Ravens tied in the AFC North, which is such a stellar division with the Steelers, Browns, and Bengals all being decent teams, if they win the division to clinch the playoffs or they make it as a wild card team, the sky's the limit for Lamar Jackson. I feel like we're seeing prime Lamar Jackson from his former MVP season of 2019, to be honest. I also want to point out that their schedule is really not the most difficult. Great teams they play are the Jags, 49ers, and Dolphins all in a row later in the season. But if he can win these huge games and perform well, I feel like Lamar Jackson will be a lock to win the MVP. This is pretty hot in my opinion because his odds are actually the 10th best. Names like Tua, Brock Purdy, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Christian McCaffrey, and Jalen Hurts all above him in the odds, all in the top 5 of the odds. But I believe in Lamar, and it really showed today against really one of the best defenses in Detroit, who we literally just highlighted last week, and we glazed them and talked about them all last week. We thought they were going to beat the Ravens by a bunch. And I'm hopping on the Lamar and the Ravens bandwagon, riding it all the way to the Super Bowl. Lamar will win MVP. What are y'all's takes?
I mean, I think it's pretty high. I wouldn't disagree with that. I mean, Lamar Jackson entering this season, I would argue that he was on sort of the hot seat entering this year as well. I mean, he's aging. He's starting to get a little old. I think he's 28. No, he's 26. So he's not that old. I take that back. But I mean, he's had kind of since that MVP season, he hasn't been terrible, but he's been like okay, for a running quarterback. But I mean, this season, yeah, going into that game against Detroit today, I mean, wasn't the craziest stats. He has 1,600 passing yards, 8 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. And then obviously the rushing yards as well was really good. But I mean, yeah, no, you're right. Not only him playing really well, but also this Ravens team as a whole playing really well. I mean, I couldn't, if you told me that Detroit was going to lose their next game after last week's win over Tampa Bay, they were going to lose their next game by 30 plus, I would have thought you were crazy. But I mean, 95 QBR today, 78% completion percentage. I mean, Lamar is really turning into, prime Lamar, like you said, his MVP season. So I would say it's out of the question. I mean, if the Ravens keep rolling, I mean, it definitely has a shot to happen.
Yeah. The Lions, like you said, Taylor, we mainly highlighted their defense last week, and their defense today did not show up at all. Lamar Jackson, I felt like today he was able to find reads like just every time. Like there was one time I watched him, he basically almost was to the ground, and he was able to get back up without being sacked, and then ended up throwing a touchdown pass to Zay Flowers. And I've never seen a quarterback do that before. And honestly, if he keeps it up, their schedule's easy enough for him to possibly win MVP and for them to probably make the Super Bowl. Just the playoffs, it just depends, though.
Temperature's hot. We made it to Phoenix, 100-degree weather. I will say I'm very sad I dropped Gus Edwards for A.J. Dillon. Gus Edwards got so many fantasy points today because he had an 80-yard reception. But besides that, Max, take us away with the prize picks, everyone's favorite segment, and tell us our records.
Not sponsored by the app Prize Picks, it's time for Max's Prize Picks.
Okay, so we're going to go and get started with the standings. Taylor, with your second consecutive 2-4 week, wasn't a great weekend for you. You're still in the lead, though, so nothing to worry about. Taylor went 2-4 this week, but he still is leading by a good bit, 41-31 overall record for Mr. Taylor Gottney. Then myself in second place, I had a 3-3 record this weekend. I'm now 37-35 overall. And then Reese actually had the best record this weekend. He went 4-2 on the picks, and Reese is now 35-37 and 2 games behind me. So I better watch who I pick today. We're gonna do another 6-game slate. We're gonna do 1 college football, 3 NFL, because next week's NFL slate's actually pretty decent. And then the 2 opening night NBA games, we're also gonna pick who we think is gonna win in those on Tuesday night. And we're going to go and get started with game day next week. The only really good college football game next week, or the one that's going to actually has a possibility to, A, have playoff implications, but B, also be a decent game. Number 8, Oregon at number 13, Utah. Utah coming off that big upset win against USC. I didn't think they would do it. All of us on here didn't think they would do it, but they did it. And then Oregon with that big win over Washington State at home. Still dominating every other team besides that Washington loss. Oregon is 6-1 entering this game. So is Utah. They both have the identical Pac-12 conference records, 3-1. The line right now is Oregon -6, and the over/under is 49. But I talked about earlier, I don't think this game is going to be close. I just think USC was terrible. I don't think Utah, the only good team, or the only. Let me rephrase that. The only really good team that they played so far is Oregon State, in my opinion. And Oregon State's not even that good, and they got blown out against Oregon State. So I'm going to go with Oregon by a lot here. I don't think Utah is going to be able to score enough points to keep up with this Ducks team. I do think Utah is going to be able to get some stops. I mean, odds makers think that too. The over-under is only 49, the lowest of any Oregon game this year. But I do think Oregon's going to score in bunches early on and just going to run Utah out of the field early on in this game. Give me Oregon 38. Well, no, I'm actually going to say 31-14 over Utah. It's going to actually be the under, so I think Utah is going to hold them to 31. Still a lot of points for the Ducks. They're going to score 2 touchdowns. Oregon 31-14 over Utah in their home stadium.
I can't go against the Ducks. Utah's a decent team. Don't get me wrong, their defense plays good. Their defense has played good a lot actually this season. But who's stopping Bo Nix? Washington did a little bit, but I mean, who's stopping him? Like he's just gonna destroy their defense this game. I say 38-17, Ducks win.
Y'all already know who I'm gonna pick. I'm a Ducks fan. Mighty Oregon, go Ducks. Bo Nix, 2,089 yards, 19 touchdowns, only 1 pick. And I was actually saying earlier, Bucky Irving. I mean, if he stays for his senior year next year, he's just going to be an absolute weapon. I mean, Troy Franklin, Tez Johnson, Terrence Ferguson, all our leading receivers, all absolute dogs. And
Here it comes.
I'm not going to play the whole thing. I'm not going to be obnoxious. Go Ducks. I'm wearing my Bo Nix jersey to the Mississippi State versus Auburn game. I don't care. We're going to win by a lot. We're going to win 31-7. Go Ducks.
Yeah, I mean, if Utah put in, if Cam Rising was ever going to come back, did y'all see Cam Rising got shut down for the season? Yeah, so, I mean, I was going to give him a chance. Is it going to be
their second string, though?
What? It's still going to be their second string, which, I mean, he impressed me against USC.
It was the third string versus USC, though.
It was?
Yes.
No, they just started him over the other guy, the Nate Johnson guy. They just thought he was better. So, but
that's
anyways, yeah. Anyways, we're gonna go to the NFL where it's actually a good slate of games this week. And we're gonna start off with the Jaguars at the Steelers. The Jaguars are 5-2 overall, and actually 3-0 went away. I mean, so, the Jaguars have been really good on road games. And then the Steelers, who have actually really surprised me. I thought they were absolute trash to start off the season when they got blown out at home by the 49ers. Turns out the 49ers are really, really good. So are they. Not really, really good, but decent. The Steelers are 4-2 and 2-1 when playing at home. The current line right now is Jacksonville -1. So, I mean, this game is just straight up who do you think is going to win if you're a bettor. Over-under is 41.5. Low scoring, and I do think this will be low scoring, but I'll let you know from a Saints fan watching that Thursday night game. I mean, Trevor Lawrence is actually really good. He's starting to blossom into what a lot of people thought he would become. I mean, Andy was injured. Like, he was injured against the Saints. He had a knee injury going in the game, still played, and led the Jags actually in rushing yards with 98 that night. Trevor Etienne, or Travis, excuse me, Trevor's his brother. Travis Etienne, 7 touchdowns on the year, 504 yards, has been a fantasy demon for Thomas right now. And I'm going to go with the Jags to win on the road against the Steelers. But I'm going to say it's really low scoring. Give me almost like a, Iowa football game impression. Give me the Jaguars winning this one 13-10 over the Steelers. Really defensive game, couple of field goals. But the Jags keep the winning streak going, and they win on the road against the Steelers.
I think it'll be a defensive battle all the way. I'm going to say the Jaguars as well, but I'm going to say the final score is 17-12. I'm going to say the Steelers don't get a touchdown but kick 4 field goals.
Literally Minnesota.
Yes.
I'm going to have to agree with both of y'all here. The Jaguars, I watched that entire Saints game. I love their offensive scheme. I love how they line Christian Kirk up at the slot. Christian Kirk is just such a weapon. 474 in a stacked wide receiver room, including Calvin Ridley and Evan Ingram. I mean, that's just super impressive. Also want to highlight Jamal Agnew. He had a big game against New Orleans. He looked really good. The speedster kind of hit the outside, kind of do a little jet sweep action against the Saints. But Steelers have a very great defense. TJ Watt, I mean, the biggest name, TJ Watt, of course, Minka Fitzpatrick, people like that. But I think that the Jaguars win this game, and then they move on to the 49ers after a bye week. Go Jack.
Yeah, that should be a huge game. We're all in agreement so far on all these picks. This next one might split us up. We'll see. The Browns at the Seahawks. The Browns are 4-2 overall this year so far. 1-1 went away. Really surprising that the Browns are doing this good considering Watson was out in that game that everybody knows about at this point, 49ers, where they beat the 49ers. Biggest upset, one of the biggest upsets of the year so far. They go on the road to face the Seahawks, who are 4-2 overall and 2-1 at home. Kenneth Walker playing absolutely really good on Taylor's fantasy team. He's talked about it. Kenneth Walker,
let's go.
Six touchdowns, 345 rushing yards before today's game. So we'll see what he has after today's game. But the current line for this game right now is Seattle -2.5, and the over/under is 41. I'm not gonna lie. If this was at the Browns Stadium, I would pick the Browns, but it's in Lumen Field, one of the best home field advantages in all of NFL right now. And so I'm going to go with the Seahawks, 3:05 p.m. kickoff as well. It's going to get like a little darker as the game ensues. I'm going to go with the Seahawks winning this game. I think it'll be close, though. I'm going to go Seahawks 21-17, beating the line, and then also – it's going to be an under on this game. Seahawks win 21-17 at home. Go Seahawks.
Yeah. I like you said, like the Seahawks stadium. I know the Panthers have played there plenty of times. And I've actually been to Seahawks Stadium one time, and it's very loud. Extremely loud stadium. Never heard an NFL stadium so loud. Yeah. But I got Seahawks. I'm gonna have Seahawks in this game. I'm gonna say, let's see here. I'm gonna say 27-17. I'm gonna say Deshaun Watson throws about. I'm gonna say 2 interceptions.
Mm. All right, Taylor.
All right, Max was right. This is where we split in our picks. Cleveland Browns. Is Deshaun Watson coming back? I'm not sure.
He is.
Okay.
He is.
I just believe in this Browns team. Deshaun Watson had a good start before he got injured, of course. Before the 49ers game. The Browns, just great team. Jerome Ford, really that Nick Chubb has. And, Kareem Hunt as a power back. Kareem Hunt is still a very good running back. Could be a starter on the Carolina Panthers if he wanted to.
Yeah, today he played amazing. He was great.
Yeah, he only had 31 rushing yards, so he didn't play amazing. But I got to go with the Browns. I just believe in the Browns, man. I don't have any reason. I know I think this will be a high-scoring game. Kenneth Walker would do great on my fantasy team like he does every week. I actually just traded for him 2 weeks ago, so I'm very happy that I did that. But I got the Browns winning off a game-winning field goal. Give me the Browns 31-28, and their kicker, Dustin Hopkins, makes a game-winning field goal. Sorry, I had to look up who their starting kicker was.
Well, now we're going to move to our last NFL game, and it's going to be the Bengals at the 49ers, 3:25 prime time. Should be game of the week, but
why
it's
are we
on
picking
CBS.
this, Max?
This game's not.
I mainly picked it for 2 reasons. One, the 49ers are plagued with injuries right now.
What about Chiefs versus Broncos?
Okay, now we're gonna do that. Would be more on Reese's, side. But anyways, we're gonna do the Bengals at the Niners. The second reason I did this is also because Taylor, you included the Bengals in your top 10 last week, and the Bengals are coming off of a bye week, and they've actually been playing better. More like the teams that we've seen in the past couple of years. So let's just see if any of us pick the Bengals. Maybe me. We'll see. Trying to get an upset pick. But anyways, the Bengals are 3-3 overall. 1-2 went away, and the 49ers are 5-1 overall and 3-0 when at home. The line right now is heavily favoring the 49ers -5.5, and the over/under is 45.5. I'm gonna try and gain back some points here on the picks. I'm gonna pick the Bengals to upset the Niners. Debo is not gonna be back. Greenlaw is not gonna be back. Trent Williams is also gonna be out for that game as well. I feel like this Bengals team is heating up. Jamar Chase will have a really good day. Joe Burrow, he plays good, when he plays really good competition, I think. I don't know. But anyways, I'm just trying to get some points back on the picks here. So I'm going to go Bengals winning this game 37-34. big shootout in Levi Stadium. Go Bengals. Please get me, a win.
I'm going 49ers. The 49ers defense is amazing, and they're 3-0 at home. Brock Purdy might have not played good last week, but I still think that the 49ers got it. And I'm going to say 49ers win this game. I'm going to say 23-13.
Good pick. I'm actually kind of torn between this one because I am a man of my word, and I did rank the Bengals in my top 10 last week. But I do have to say,
Max is stupid.
for picking the Bengals. The 49ers are just too strong, 5-1. Probably going to win Monday Night Football tonight. I would probably bet on that game. Christian McCaffrey coming back against the Vikings tonight. I think it's actually confirmed now. I don't think they need Deebo Samuel because he's not even their leading receiver. Max, I don't know if you knew that, but
Okay.
The 49ers are going to win this game and win it big like they did against the Cowboys. Give me the 49ers the same score as the Cowboys game, 42-10.
Dang. Okay. Well, I mean, like I said, I'm trying to get some points back. Anyways, now we're gonna pick the NBA opening night games. They're two actually really good ones. I'm excited to watch both of these. First, we got the Lakers, who obviously all these teams don't have any wins because it's the first game of the season. The Lakers at the Nuggets. The Nuggets have one of the best. They had one of the best home court advantages last year. At that high altitude. We'll see how that plays into tonight's game or tomorrow night's game. Excuse me. The line right now is Denver -4.5, and the over/under is 227.5. I'm gonna go with the Nuggets here at home. Like I said last year, it was one of actually the thing they talked about in almost every game that they played when they were at home. Taylor, I don't know if you knew that, but the Nuggets, playing in a high altitude and ball arena, I think Jokic will have a great game. Give me the Nuggets in this one. I'm gonna say 113 to 105. So the Nuggets win this one at home. They beat the Lakers and LBJ. Go Nuggets.
I can't disagree with you there. The Nuggets won the NBA championship for a reason. I say the Nuggets win this one. I'm gonna say 107 to 98. I'm gonna say honestly, hot take here. I think LeBron's gonna get a triple double opening night.
I don't think that's super hot. He does it a lot.
Yeah.
Anyway, Taylor, who's your pick?
I'm gonna have to agree with both of y'all here. I love the Nuggets. Same exact finals team that won last year. I do believe in the Lakers. I think this will be a very close game. Probably come down to the last second. I love the Lakers. The Lakers are a great team. But I'm gonna have to go with the Nuggets, and Nikola Jokic has another MVP season.
By the way, ALCS going to Game 7.
Rangers, is it final? Rangers won.
Adolis Garcia hit a grand slam.
And the Eagles are about to go up 38-17 because the refs don't call pass interference in this game.
But anyways, now we're going to go to our last pick of the night, and it's the Suns at the Warriors. I have a feeling I know who y'all are going to pick in this game.
Reese, let's do the pick together.
Yeah, okay. But so this one, hopefully I can get some points back as well in this one because I'm going to go with the Suns.
Of course you are.
Like I said,
I'm going to go with not the Pelicans because they suck.
Like I said in the top 10, I have the Suns.
Oh, Zion gained so much weight he can't play.
All right. Anyways, whenever the Suns are going to be healthy this season, they're going to be really good. Beal, Booker, KD, that's got to be one of the best, if not the best trio in the league right now. So I'm going to go with the Suns winning in Chase Center on Tuesday night, tomorrow night, and the 9 p.m. TNT game. I'm going to go with the Suns winning this one. Super high scoring. I'm going to go 128 to 123. Go Suns, and they're going to win. They're going to win.
Zion's fat rolls are going to be rolling on the floor.
Anyway, who do y'all have? Oh, wait, the Warriors.
Warriors going to win this game by a lot. Give me the Warriors 121-90.
I got Warriors. I'm gonna say 113-88.
Steph Curry gets 55 points.
Hey, but anyways, that's gonna do it for our last pick. Actually, real quick before we leave, since we're doing live reactions on this show, what do y'all think? Your live reactions in real time.
The Eagles are frauds. They got bailed out by the refs. They didn't call pass interference a single time. The guy literally ripped his face mask back, and Darius Slay got the pick, and then they didn't call it. This game has been absolutely horrible, and the Eagles are going to lose every single other game that they play because their schedule is so hard.
Okay, Reese.
Eagles suck.
Okay, and then Rangers Astros going to Game 7. Who do y'all think wins it there?
Adolis Garcia. It's him.
The Astros.
Oh wow! So I'm gonna go with the Rangers there. I'm gonna have to agree with Reese. They just
Isn't
look
it in
so good
Houston?
Right now. It's at the Texas Rangers Stadium.
No, it's
So.
not.
Who win the NLCS? Diamondbacks do the Phillies win or do the Diamondbacks tie it up?
The Phillies because the Diamondbacks suck.
It's 3-2 Phillies. Tomorrow night they play.
The Diamondbacks and the Braves are equivalent.
Yeah. Anyways, that's going to do it for our show. We
What?
hope y'all enjoyed. That's going to do it for the podcast, for the show. We hope y'all enjoyed. I just repeated myself. But anyways, whatever platform you're listening to, whether it be Spotify, Apple, or YouTube, be sure to leave us 5 stars. Be sure to share it with your friends. Be sure to leave comments on the comment section. If you're listening on YouTube, be sure to like the podcast.
Thanks for listening to this week's edition of the Tigers Den podcast. New episodes dropping every Monday at 3:30 p.m. Central. Also be sure to check out our other podcast, Play Callers, where we interview a coach from Auburn High School football. Be sure to check out those episodes dropping every Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. Central on all platforms.